there's no point in being in a band with people you fight with. What's the point? Just go on and do bigger tours and make more money, and then just always be arguing about, it's just nonsense.
The sibling squabbling between Liam and Noel Gallagher stands as an integral component of Oasis, woven into the band's fabric as tightly as their music. In the bucket hat era of the 1990s, they blitzed the charts with tunes like Cigarettes and Alcohol, Roll With It, and Don't Look Back in Anger. They shattered records in album sales, leaving accountants rubbing their eyes in disbelief, and topped it off with live performances of mammoth proportions, becoming one of the most successful acts of all time. Yet beneath the dizzying heights of success, a severe brotherly feud brewed, ultimately leading to the end of Oasis. It's one of music's biggest feuds, but how did it all begin? And a question for you, are you Team Noel or Team Liam? Hi, I'm Adam, welcome back to Music Mongoose. It all started then in 1991, the year Oasis, or The Rain as it was initially called, formed. The band consisted of Liam Gallagher, Paul Arthurs, Paul McGuigan and Tony McCarroll. A few months later, after seeing a gig of theirs, Liam's older brother Noel decided to join the band. He thought it would be a good outlet for the music he was writing himself, so he joined and became the primary songwriter of the band. And it's worth noting here that Noel's songwriting actually comes from quite a dark place in his childhood, and could also possibly be the same place where this feud originally began. We'll get more onto that later. By 1993, the band was spotted by Alan McGee, founder of Creation Records, at the fabled gig at King Tut's in Glasgow. A year later, Creation Records issued their debut album, Definitely Maybe. And the rest, as they say, was history. They were on the way to becoming one of the biggest bands on the planet. Definitely Maybe became the fastest selling debut album in British history. But even that kind of success couldn't suppress a brotherly feud like Liam and Noel's. From the moment Oasis stormed onto the scene, the brotherly feud was front and centre. As we know, tabloids love a good feud, and this was great content for them to pick up. Not only would the media love the feud between Liam and Noel, they'd also latch on to their later rivalry between Oasis and Blur. And perhaps this was one of the reasons Oasis was so successful in the first place. Perhaps it was the reason why Alan McGee was so confident in signing them. They might have known exactly what they were doing, stirring up that interest in tabloids and newspapers. One thing is for sure though, feuds were in Oasis's DNA from the beginning. And although the media and the public loved all the gossip surrounding it, it was a genuine problem for the band. The first real glimpse of this was probably in 1994 when Noel left the band for a bit. Noel briefly parted ways with Oasis after an eventful show at the LA venue Whiskey A Go Go. Midway through the performance, Liam threw a bunch of insults at Bonehead and flung his tambourine at Noel, prompting him to exit the stage and vanish for a few days. I've made an entire video about this performance, by the way. It's widely considered one of their worst gigs ever. You can click up here to watch that, it'll be at the end of the video as well. By which time you would have liked the video and subscribed to the channel, of course. Don't make me ask you again. Turned out that in his disappearance, Noel had sought solace in the company of an old flame. During this time out, he wrote Talk Tonight. So it wasn't all for nothing. After a rejuvenating hiatus, he made a triumphant return to Oasis. But the tensions between Noel and Liam persisted. For 15 fabulous years. Yeah, for the rest of the 90s and most of the noughties, while Oasis's popularity skyrocketed, the feud heated up. Noel thinks that their biggest fight ever happened when they were recording their follow-up album, What's the Story, Morning Glory, which, by the way, side note, has to be one of the best second albums ever put out by a band, right? Can you think of any more? Pop them down below. It was recorded in 1995 in Rockfield Studios, Wales. During the recording, the band were with each other and no one else, day in and day out. So it's understandable that tensions would reach boiling point eventually. Now, there are a few accounts of how this fight actually started. Some say that a fire extinguisher was sprayed and that damaged one of Noel's guitars and then Noel blamed Liam for that. Others say that Liam brought back a load of drunk people from the local pub, which really annoyed Noel. Either way, Liam and Noel had a proper fight, and I mean like a proper fight. Noel hit Liam's head with a cricket bat. The entire studio ended up getting smashed to pieces. Noel had to flee the scene by hopping out a window and driving away with their drummer, Alan White, while Liam chased them with a dustbin. So, you know, your average recording session for Oasis. By the way, that cricket bat that Noel used to hit Liam actually sold in an auction in 2011. How cool is that? Also in those years before their eventual breakup, we had the infamous Wibbling Rivalry. This was a single released under the name Oasis S. The single was an interview with Noel and Liam, recorded shortly before their big break. The interview became famous for showcasing an intense altercation between the siblings, revolving around an incident from a few months prior. During this episode, Liam sparked a drunken brawl aboard an overnight ferry to the Netherlands, leading to the entire band, excluding Noel, who remained uninvolved, being apprehended and subsequently deported. And then of course it all imploded in 2009 at a music festival in France when the brothers got into a heated argument. An episode that Noel would describe as the straw that broke the camel's back. But where did this feud actually come from? Can we pinpoint the exact reason it started in the first place? Well, with the help of 2016 Supersonic documentary, we might be able to. And we need to go back to their childhood and the abuse inflicted by their father. Their father was a heavy drinker and would often take out anger on their mother, as well as Noel. Liam, as the youngest, wasn't subject to it. In a later interview, Liam described the moment their mother had had enough. "I was about 7 when my mam left my dad. He was out all the time, fighting, beating my mam up, beating Noel and Paul up. Never touched me though. Then, one night, while he was out, my mam got her brothers round, got all our gear in a truck, left him a mattress, and we went off to our new house." So Liam, as the younger brother, was able to shake off this childhood trauma quite easily, whereas Noel, not so much. In Supersonic, Noel revealed that a lot of his songwriting actually came from a need to escape his father's abuse. He even described it once as his father beating the talent into him. As a result of all this, Noel became more quiet, more introverted, while Liam became more energetic, loud, and, well, Liam. And perhaps it's this difference where the feud really begins. The difference in how both brothers dealt with this childhood trauma. And we saw a similar thing with Ray and Dave Davis of the Kinks. Another famous feud in music, of course. They went through a different kind of childhood trauma, the death of their sister. This saw Ray become more quiet and introverted, while Dave became more bolshy and loud. You can find a video of mine about the Kinks' brotherly feud, by the way, on the channel. Going back to the ferry episode, it was Liam that caused the chaos. Noel remained responsible and protective. One could argue that the quintessential sibling dynamic took shape in those childhood years when Noel endured mistreatment from his father, while Liam remained unscathed. As the elder sibling, Noel shouldered the weight of responsibility and weathered the majority of the beatings, which may have fostered a sense of resentment towards Liam for not grasping or acknowledging this reality. It's all a bit paradoxical though, isn't it? Because that dynamic between Liam and Noel, much like the dynamic between Dave and Ray Davis, actually contributed to the success of the band. Again, same with Ray and Dave. One of them became the serious thinker and did all the songwriting, while the other one was more interested in being loud and raucous and forcing the world to look at them. Evidently, these two opposing forces happened to fit together quite well. It's what led to not only the musical success of the band, but also generated the initial media interest in them as well. And of course, it ultimately led to their downfall. But come on now, you must have had time to decide, are you Team Noel or Team Liam? Pop it down below, let's argue, come on. Make sure to click this video next to learn about Oasis's worst gig in history. It was all caused by a severe mix-up of drugs, and then I'll catch you next time on Music Mongoose. Alrighty then, bye bye!